Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to write scientific notation like you will be on the quizzes in um, 1D, 2C, and 3C for this grid. So this would be a good video to remember and to reference back to if you get stuck on any of those quizzes. There are a couple of ways that we can write scientific notation. So this is just a fake problem that I made up. It's not actually one of your quiz questions, so it's not going to help you in that way. But so the first and the best way to do this, and the way we would like you to do it, is to use this equation button. So if we click the equation button, then Schoology will start thinking and eventually load up this page. Within this page, you can type any sort of equation you can think of. So for 57,000 to become or to be written in scientific notation, I know it's going to be 5.7 times 10 to the fourth power. So for me to write that, I'm just going to type in 5.7 normally, and then I'm going to go over to this operators tab on the far left side. And you can see it has plus, minus, multiplication sign, equal sign. So in this tab, you're going to have your equals, plus, minus, multiplication, 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 division, plus, minus, and various other symbols. But really this first 7, 8 symbols is all we really care about. So I'm going to use the X multiplication sign. Now, we don't typically use this, but for scientific notation, that is what is used. So I'm going to use that. If you used the star or the dot, that would be fine too, but it's just not how scientific notation is typically written. So after that, what we're going to do is we're going to type our 10, because we're going to type 10 to the fourth power. And then for us to get to our exponents, we click this equations tab over here. And there's a little XY button. And what that gives you is it gives you what's called a superscript. But in math terms, it gives us this little box so we can write our exponent. And so I would go ahead and write to the fourth. And that's exactly how I would type in my scientific notation for 57,000. So it ended up being 5.7 times 10 to the fourth power. And then I'm going to hit this insert button, and my equation is going to magically show up here. Now, if that equation tool, if that just overwhelms you, the second way you can do this that is acceptable would be to just go ahead and type 5.7. Then we're going to use Shift 8 for our multiplication sign. Then we're going to type 10, and then we're going to click the superscript of this S with the little a up above, up here, just left of the equation tool. So we're going to click that, and then we would type 4. So that's also acceptable. Now, we prefer you to type it in the equation tool because it comes up cleaner. And if we go back to the equation tool, there's just a lot more that we can do inside the equation tool. We can do relationships. So we have our greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal, congruent. We have all sorts of different signs in here. Then in our equations, we have square roots, end roots, fractions. We can just write all sorts of different equations in here. And if we go over to our miscellaneous symbols, we have infinity. Pi should be in here somewhere, but I'm not seeing it right now. We have our angle buttons, our just a bunch of different tools that we would like to get you in the habit of using more. So like I said, ideally, please try to write them using the equation format. But if for some reason you just can't or refuse to, this bottom way is the other acceptable way, where you just type it in using the star for multiplication and then using this superscript button. That concludes the video. Hope you have a great rest of your day.